Wow. 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 What? Now, I expected the ROVAL to be crazy today. I didn't expect the finish to happen that way. I did not expect an unexpected winner like yesterday. But we got it. There's so much to talk about. So let's get into this recap. Let's get it going. Number one, Ryan Blaney finally catches a break and gets his first win of the season, second career win, and first in the 12 car at the inaugural Bank of America ROVAL 400 Charlotte Motor Speedway, and what was pretty much a do-or-die race for Blaney, who came in on the cut line by 4 points. Had a solid day. For a moment towards the end of the race, it looked like that he possibly, could be in trouble racing hard with some of the other guys that were either above him as far as the cut line goes or below the cut line, especially considering some other guys were up towards the front, looked like they had the chance to win. But in the end, he was able to capitalize on a crazy finish when the two leaders in front of him tangled, which I'll get into pretty soon, as he able to punch his ticket to the next round. I'm a little bit worried about Blaney, though, because road course racing really isn't his style, and I guess he did today as far as experience with oval and road course together. He got the job done and won it over Jamie McMurray in the one car, finishing second. Clint Boyer third, Alex Bowman fourth, and Kurt Busch fifth. Number two, here's the moment what I've been waiting to talk about. Last lap, Martin Truex Jr. already through the next round on points. Jimmy Johnson running second, and in points where he's running, but trying to break a 51 race winless streak because it's been a really bad year for the 48 team. Off of NASCAR turn 4, or really turn 14, and going into 15, 16, 17, trying for the dive bomb, gets loose, spins around. It looks like Truex has got it. Johnson backs us into the back bumper of the Auto Owners Insurance Truex, and Johnson has to stop. Unfortunately, can't go anywhere, allows Blaney to go by. And then Jimmy Johnson crossed the finisher's line 8th, Martin Truex Jr. 14th, and Truex was visibly upset with Johnson at the end of the race and knocked him around. Johnson went from 2nd to 8th, but unfortunately, it's not enough to move him to the next round, and I'll get into the other drivers that got eliminated. But unfortunately, that spin eliminated Jimmy Johnson on a tie between himself, Eric Almirola, and Kyle Larson. It's based off of best finish from the first two races as far as the playoff guys. Those are the rules. I'm sorry. You can argue whatever you want. Johnson had a better finish than Almirola and Larson. He should get the spot. But rules are rules as far as how you finish in the first two races. You didn't perform, you don't deserve to go to the next round. I'm sorry. That's how it works. But, I really was pulling for Jimmy Johnson because he hadn't won yet this year, and I've been feeling so bad for him, and it looked like he was going to do it today. Unfortunately, didn't happen, but you can't blame him for not trying. He tried, and it didn't work, but, you can't blame him for trying whatsoever. But hopefully Johnson can get a win the next few races to make up for what has been a disastrous year, especially knowing that in a few weeks there will be no more lows associated with the 48 team. So I feel bad for Jimmy Johnson. Number 3, Kyle Larson pretty much had the dominant car of the day today. I thought that Kyle Larson had the whole race in hand. I thought he was going to triumph and get his first win of the season because he's still looking for his first win. Unfortunately, towards the end of the race, the first restart leading up to the crazy finish, he got tangled up with Brad Keselowski, who also had a really good run, just, even starting at the back with a backup car after crashing in happy hour yesterday. Larson had a lot of damage. It looked like for a moment going into that final restart before the carnage happened on the last lap, Larson was out. And because of this 48 car spinning, he got the advantage on a tiebreaker in the last spot. So 42 dodged the bullet. And I really want Larson to win it because he still hasn't won, but it's going to happen eventually for him. But, took a lot of contenders out, including Kyle Busch, who was already through, William Byron and Paul Menard, who have some pretty solid runs, and some other guys as well. Number 4, the battle of the 3 Bs. It looked like for the end of the race, as far as the championship, the final spot, it was going to be between Bowman, Blaney, and Boyer before all these cautions shook it all up. I mean, Bowman was going to be out, and they all capitalized. Obviously, Blaney won, and Bowman finished 4th, Boyer 3rd. Clint Boyer, I mean, if he didn't make it, people were going, how in the world is that even possible? How could a guy who has 2 wins this year, and we thought possibly he was going to go to Homestead, and I still think he can go to Homestead now that he made it. If he didn't make it, people were going, was this a bad year for Boyer in the first place? Was it a bad year that he wasn't able to capitalize and get to the next round? But he did. You don't have to say that for the time being. He got through. Bowman got through. Nobody had him making it. I honestly didn't have him making it, but kudos to Alex Bowman. Did a great job. 4th place. Really isn't classified as a road racer, but did a remarkable job today, and he's going on to the next round, and he's got Talladega, and we know how good Bowman and that 88 car on a restrictor plate, so there's optimism for that guy going in the next round. And finally, number 5, the drivers that did not make it. I talked about Jimmy Johnson. He did not make it to the next round. Denny Hamlin, obviously, we knew he had to win, but it was tough in a backup car, and he really didn't have the track position today. Same for Eric Jones. They did not make it. But number 4, people thought after the first race the way he ran, Austin Dillon was going to advance, and unfortunately, he didn't. He was running okay in the race, but in the final stage, he pancaked the wall off of 4 after the 37 of Chris Buescher, apparently from listening to the radio, got loose underneath of Dillon and knocked him into the wall, and unfortunately that took him out. So I'm heartbroken for Jimmy Johnson and Austin Dillon fans, because I think you guys could have made it today, and probably, you know, no disrespect to Blaney and Bowman. I'm thrilled for those guys, especially Blaney, but unfortunately, you know, I still feel some consolation for the Jimmy Johnson and Austin Dillon. I feel consolation for the guys that didn't make it, but you didn't perform. You don't advance. You got to try next year. And finally, to recap, Chase Elliott, we made it. We made it. 6th place finish today. Solid run. Ran top 5 earlier. Finished 5th at the end of stage 1. 6th at the end of stage 2. And obviously 6th in the race. Pretty satisfied. I was a little bit nervous, but I had a good feeling if we earned stage points today and kept our track position, we were going to be okay. We were, and really excited. Now let's go to Dover, where we've run good in the past. Of course, almost won that race last year. It's time to redeem ourselves in that race. It's time to go win that thing. So just to recap, the guys that did make it, obviously Keselowski, Kyle Busch, and Blaney won. Truex clinched from points last week. Harvick clinched by starting the race today, also clinching on points. Joey Logano, Kurt Busch, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, Clint Boyer, Eric Almirola, and Kyle Larson. And also I want to give a quick shout out to Justin Marks. He finished his final NASCAR race today. And also shout out to Carolina Panthers coach Ron Rivera for coming out today and giving the command on the Panthers bye week. So thanks, Ron. You gave a great command. And now it's off to the Monster Mile, the Concrete Canyon. Who's going to get bit by the monster? And this next round is going to be even tough, because you know why? Talladega is the second race of the round of 12. And that could really bite a lot of people in the butt. So it could jump up and eat you. We're going to find out what happens in the next 3 races and who's going to advance to the round of 8. But for now, the 12 guys that made it can breathe a sigh of relief. So subscribe and like. And congrats to Ryan Blaney. Great way to spend my 20th birthday today at the ROVAL. And getting ready for next week. But now it's time to go watch the Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers. Go Ravens! And have a nice week.